What's the worst thing that you would wish on someone? Their phone always dies right when they're about to charge it. Their device would constantly search for Wi-Fi. And when it connects, it would work for about 10 seconds and then the Wi-Fi connection would drop. They will never find a comfy position. Besides once. And once they do find that just right spot, their arsehole will itch quite badly. Wet socks for eternity. A permanently freshly stubbed toe. That their sleeves get wet whenever they wash their hands. No exceptions. How? Every time they come to wipe there's no toilet paper. Seeing their pet prefer someone else over them. Their wired headphones getting caught on any doorknobs in their vicinity. They will always have a little rock or a thorns in their shoes that they can never get out. A bad cough with explosive diarrhea. Leaky ass. Nothing on a full scale that qualifies as poop. But just enough to have to go home and change every single time. Baby shark playing over and over in their head for the rest of their life. Immortality. Eat tea and live. Buddy. Eat tea and live forever. Total empathy. Total memory. They feel every iota of what the person they wronged felt. No matter how unintended. And they feel it for every time anyone felt they were wronged by them. And total memory means they can never forget. It's always as fresh and painful as the day it happened. And only a random thought away. An extremely sore pimple on their eyebrow and inside their ears and nose. Every day begins with a 1 in 3 chance they will stub their toe. On the days when the stub will occur, a secondary check is performed for damage. Rated 1-10. To be hit with a +4 in 3 times in a row. That no matter how much they shake the bottle or who puts it on their food that they always get the runny watery part of the ketchup. I would wish that my brother became infertile. With 3 women. He's produced 4 kids he's either never met or shown no interest in and refuses to take responsibility for them. Permanent swamp ass. You'll never be clean. For animal abusers. Being locked in a small jail cell. Which is then pumped full of the heavy smell of dog breath. Stuck on hold with customer service. Random. Uncontrollable and extreme orgasms. Sprayed by a skunk every day. Nothing they can do to escape it. As soon as they wake up. Boom. A skunk's rear is in their face and it sprays them to start the day. It would be better to have it randomly happen throughout the day. Just when they think they made it to work safely. Bam. Skunk. Walking their day to the door. Hoping to get lucky. Bam. Skunk. Going to bed. Thinking this might be a no skunk day. Bam. Under the bed skunk. Toothache. Crippling anxiety. Just imagine permanently feeling as if you're being watched. Or constantly feeling a threat against your life. Anxiety so powerful you no longer sleep. Only worsening the situation until inevitable death. I sincerely wish my ex-husband would accidentally zip his foreskin into his pants zipper once weekly. I don't wish him dead or anything. Just a little karmic revenge for putting it where it doesn't belong. Their rice and pasta are always just slightly undercooked and crunchy. And their garlic bread is always burned. Nightmares. Constant. Every time their eyes close to sleep. Vivid. Terrifying and traumatic. Immortality combined with locked-in syndrome. That's about as bad as I can imagine. For their loved ones to start treating them the way they treat others. Intense chronic anxiety and depression. Being a prisoner in your own mind with no escape is torture. If someone is rude to me, I will often wish that they stub their toe. A little pinky one. On the corner of something hard. For a man. Every time he pees. The zipper snags on his old chapter. Total paralysis below the neck. and a life of 120 years after the paralysis. The law of Sideshow Bob. No matter where they are, when they turn around abruptly, they step on a rake and it smacks them in the face. All the sex traffickers to be arped with a hot metal DLDO. And anyone who's a part of them. To see a spot or scratch on every screen that they can't remove or fix. That they find out their significant other cheated. And the child they love isn't theirs. Don't know how that could work with a woman. But you get the idea. Locked in a room with a floor of infinitely scattering Legos. Every time they walk past a counter. That they fall down the stairs. It's a roll of the dice. They might bruise their bum. They might break their ducking neck. Let's find out. I hope you get what you deserve. I had a massive, cataclysmic blowout with an employer once. Months of frustration for both of us that pretty much culminated with terrible things said out of anger by the both of us. This happened in front of co-workers too. I pretty much ended the argument and my employment with "I sincerely hope that someday every hair follicle on your body develops a nerve ending." The thought of you needing anesthesia to get a haircut or shave genuinely brings a smile to my face. 24 hours later, myself and another tech, who quit in solidarity, were packing out our tools. I apologized for everything I said. Except for the hair follicle quip. I remarked that after reflecting on things a little further I feel even more strongly about the matter and that my stance had not changed. His response is that he would see me in court for my final paycheck. I told him I wasn't going to chase him for it. And that I'd surprised if he was even in business next year. 6 months later his doors were closed. Out of business. I know this sounds highly specific, but hear me out. Being detained by the Chinese police for suspicion of doing weed doesn't need to be true. Doesn't even need to the person they were looking for. They take your phone and passport. Not allowed to leave for hours at a time. The fear you have. I can explain more, but you get the point. Making them horny but unable to orgasm. To pee on their phone. True story happened to someone I know. That moment right before a sneeze. Someone who says I exaggerate my multiple sclerosis symptoms. Dial up internet connection. Forever. Them stuck in a relationship with me. No. Wait, that might actually be too much as well. All the pores on their body now produce ferret-like musk. For my ex to understand what putting me through narcissistic abuse means. It's so hard to explain to anyone and esp to a narc. And I hate that I'm an empath with a pretty good memory. Makes it harder to forget abuse. Edit. Covered denies people who willingly sacrificed others for the sake of temporary comfort to suffer and struggle until their very least labored breath. I didn't wish it. But I witnessed someone wish that an unborn child would be born with Down syndrome. The wisher said children with Down syndrome are the happiest children of all. It's the parents who suffer. Brutal wish. Horrible person. Never spoke with them again other than hello in passing. Work related. Fatal familial insomnia. You know when you're minding your own business and something brushes against your skin. And you panic for a second thinking it's a bug before realizing it's just a strand of hair? But in that moment of panic, your body gave you an adrenaline rush and now you're itchy all over thinking about the non-existent bug. And then you basically live through the rest of your day on high alert. That. For eternity. Life. To be buried up to their neck and then have a box of bullet ants placed on top of their head. Oh wait. No. The bottom of their body is free to move about, but the box is locked onto their head so they can still thrash about. I think homelessness. There are terrible things in the world. Cancer. Mental illnesses. Physical injuries. But all those things can be fixed 90% of the time. Obviously there's time when it can't be fixed. And that's terrible, but most of the time they can. If you're homeless and you have nowhere to go, what do? You can't afford a roll for lunch, let alone rent for a week. You're always cold and uncomfortable. You're scared of the dangers that you face ahead on the street. Everyone stereotypes you as a druggie and assumes you're addicted to alcohol, drugs and etc. Yes. Some homeless people are like that. But others aren't. There's not a lot you can do every day apart from hope someone gives you some change. You're too scruffy to get a job. No one will hire you. It's very hard to get out of it. I wish billionaires would lose 99.9% of their wealth. They'd still be rich afterward. But not as crazy stupid rich. And in the end the love you take is equal to the love you make. I do not wish ill on people. They are free to sink their own ships with their own actions.